Hi guys, welcome to another GCSE maths video, and in this one we're going to go through week 5 quadratics. So we're going to factorize and solve quadratic equations. What I'd probably recommend is if you can watch week 3 basic algebra first, if you haven't already done so, because this links in with what we were doing in that week. So things to do with expanding double brackets. We're going to be doing the opposite of that. So if you haven't seen that video already, do watch that first before you watch this one. As always, if you do like these videos, don't forget to press the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell button as well to get any notification for any new videos as well. So let's make a start on this one. So hopefully by the end of the lesson you'll be able to factorize quadratics and solve quadratic equations by factorizing. So factorizing quadratics, this is actually I'm going to show you one method today. There are actually 4 different methods for factorizing quadratics, and obviously I'm not going to show you all of them today, but I'll show you one method where we put them into double brackets. The other methods are completing the square, and you could use the formula as well, and you could solve them graphically as well, which I'll show you in a different video. So just a bit of a recap then. This is going to be the opposite of expanding double brackets. So this was done in week 3 when we were doing basic algebra. So how do you expand double brackets? So you should realize that everything in this brackets is multiplying everything in this brackets. So that x multiplies this x to give you the x squared. Then you've got 2x, these two together, plus 5x with these two together. That gives you the 7x. And then the 2 times the 5 gives you the positive 10. So you always have 3 terms like this. You always have a squared term, one single variable term, and you have one number term as well. So you always have 3 terms like this. So you'll notice when you're working backwards, you need to find 2 numbers which multiplied together give you the number term. So the 2 and the 5, they multiply to give you the positive 10, and added or subtracted together to give you the variable term. So again, you'll need 2x plus 5x to give you the 7x. So when you're working backwards, you have to think of 2 numbers that multiply to give you the number term, and at the same time add or subtract to give you the variable term. So that's the tricky bit, figuring out what those 2 numbers are. But hopefully I'm going to show you a way of doing it which seems to work for me. Hopefully it'll work for you as well. So let's imagine we have this as a exam style question. So it says factorize x squared plus 7x plus 10. Definitely our answer is going to be in double brackets. Okay, so now on the side what I do is, you see the number term here, the positive 10. I'm going to think of 2 numbers that multiply to give me positive 10, and at the same time add or subtract to give me the plus 7 from the 7x. So 2 numbers that multiply to give you 10 are 10 and 1. But that's not going to give me 7 though, is it, when I add them? So let's not use that one. What about 5 and 2? Yes, 5 and 2, they're going to give me a positive 7 as well, aren't they? So definitely 5 and a 2 here. And now you have to think of what signs they're going to be. So when you multiply 2 numbers together, the only way to get positive is if they were both positive or both negative. But in this case, if they're both negative, I'm going to get minus 7 when I add or subtract them. So in this case, they have to both be positive for this to work. So if you're not sure which 2 numbers to think of, do draw this funny little diagram. I think it helps. And do think of all the possibilities that you're going to get, all the different combinations that are going to make the positive 10 in this case, for example. And you'll find that there's no other combinations that give you that positive 10. There's only going to be 10 and 1 or 5 and 2. And see which one works to give you the positive 7. So I think it works. This method really works for me, and hopefully you guys can do the same. So obviously we have to put, because it was x squared originally, x goes here, x goes here, and then our two numbers, makes no difference which order we put them in. I could have put a positive 2 in the first one, positive 5 in the second one, makes no difference. But this is going to be your answer. Have a go of the rest, have a go of these practice questions yourself. So pause the video and have a go, and unpause it when you're ready. Okay, let's go through these. So first one, factorize x squared plus 10x plus 24. So again, I'm going to think of two numbers that make plus 24, and at the same time they're going to add to make the positive 10. So straight away I can see 4 and a 6 definitely. Yep, that's going to give me positive 10. And obviously when you multiply them, it's going to give you positive 24. So they, because it's a positive 24, they're both going to be either positive or both negative. In this case, definitely positive. So the answer is going to be x plus 4, x plus 6. And you're done. Next one, I've got positive 18. In fact, I'm going to do it over here. So I've got positive 18, and I need a minus 11. Oh, bit of a tricky one, this one. So to get 18, what are the possible combinations? You could have positive 3 and positive 6. That's not going to get me 11 though, is it? What about 2 and 9? 2 and 9, yes, multiplied together are going to get me positive 18. And at the same time, I could get 11 as well. Let me just put 2 and a 9 first. So, again, because this is positive 18, these two have to be either positive or negative. And in this case, because I've got minus 11, they both have to be negative. And that's how I'm going to get minus 11. So my answer is going to be x minus 2, x minus 9. That's that one done. Next one, I need a positive 8, and it needs to make minus 6. So again, straight away I can see 4 and 2 are going to be my two numbers. And again, because it's a positive 8, they're both going to be either positive or negative, and in this case definitely negative for both. Oops, not x, always recheck. They're using p squared, so it's going to be p in here, minus 4, and p minus 2. Yeah, that's that one done. Next one, I need minus 15 and a positive 2 here. So definitely 5 and a 3. And because this is a minus 15, that means when you multiply two numbers to get a negative, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. Which one's which? So yeah, definitely straight away I can see that has to be positive, that has to be negative. That's going to get us positive 2 here. So my answer is y plus 5, y minus 3. Next one, I need minus 28 here, and they're going to make a positive 3. Two numbers that make 28 are not 14 and 2, that's not going to work. 7 and 4, definitely 7 and a 4, because that's going to give me the 3, isn't it? Again, that's minus 28, so one of these has to be negative. It's definitely going to be that one. So it's y plus 7, y minus 4. Next one. I need a minus 30. And it's going to make, technically there's going to be a minus 1 there. So 30. Let's try. Is it going to be 5 and 6? Let's double check. 5 and a 6 is definitely going to give me 30, isn't it? 5 times 6 is definitely 30. Yeah, could be that one. I'm just thinking, what else could it be? Definitely 5 and a 6. And again, one of these has to be negative for this to be minus 30. So I reckon it's got to be, this one's going to be positive, and the 6 has to be negative for this to work. Yeah, and you're going to get that's going to give you minus 1. So my answer is x plus 5, x minus 6, and you're done. Hope you guys got that as well. Okay, let's move on. Next section is solving quadratic equations by factorization. So this only works if there's an equal sign. Right, so this time round, we've got the same as before. And this time it says solve, and we've got an equal to 0 on the end. Yeah, so the only way to solve these, I know it doesn't say, but the only way to solve these is by factorizing this. So we'll have to put it into double brackets, equal to 0, and then we'll go from there. So let's factorize this. So I've got minus 10, and I need a minus 3. So two numbers that make 10 are 5 and 2, definitely. That's going to get me the minus 3 as well. So again, one of these has to be negative, and the only way for it to work is if this is positive and this is negative. Yep, that's going to get me minus 3. So it's x minus 5, x plus 2, and we still got equal to 0 on the end. Okay. Now, what you do is, when you have anything like this, this literally means everything in this brackets is multiplying everything in this brackets. Or think of it as two terms multiplying each other. And when you have anything multiplied by 0, that's going to get me 0. So either this is going to be 0, the first brackets, or this is going to be 0, second brackets. So for it to work, either that's going to be 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0. You're going to get two answers for this. So let's solve the first one. If x minus 5 equals 0, let's get x on its own equal to something. So I'll need to get rid of the minus 5. So I'll need to plus 5 here and here. I'll get x equals positive 5. There's my first answer. And now let's do the next one. So x plus 2 equals 0. Again, I just need x on its own. Let's get rid of the plus 2. We'll have to minus 2 here and minus 2 here. X is going to equal minus 2. There's my second answer. So you can say x is equal to 5 or minus 2. There's your two answers. So whenever you get anything like this, whenever you get double brackets equal to 0, you'll always get two answers like this, pretty much all the time. Sometimes there are some certain cases when you won't. I'll show you another time, but most likely it will be like this. So if you guys want to try practice question 2A onwards, pause the video, try it yourself, and when you're ready, unpause the video. Let's go through these. So first one, we'll need to factorize that, so I need a positive 30, and it makes positive 13. So it can only be, initially I thought it could be 15 and 2. 15 and 2, which gives me 30, but it's not going to give me positive 13 though, because I'm going to have to take that away. They're both going to be positive here, or both negative, and in this case, in fact in both cases, you're not going to get positive 13, so that's not going to work. So I reckon it's going to be 10 and a 3. That's going to work, isn't it? So it's always worth rechecking. So I'm going to have a 10 here and a 3 here. They're either both going to be positive, both negative. In this case, they're both going to be positive. Yeah, so I'll get x plus 10 and x plus 3. Still got equal to 0. So either this first brackets is equal to 0, or second brackets is equal to 0. Let's rearrange this. Let's get x on its own. X is minus 10. There's my first answer. Or x is minus 3. There's my second answer. So x is minus 10 or minus 3. That's that one done. Next one, I need a minus 20. And technically there's a 1 there, so I need a positive 1 here. It's going to be definitely 5 and a 4, isn't it? So definitely 5 and a 4. Again, one of these is going to be negative, so that's positive, that's got to be negative. So I've got t plus 5 and t minus 4. So either this, either this equals 0, or that equals 0. Minus 5 to both sides. T equals minus 5, that's my first answer. Plus 4 to both sides. T is going to be positive 4. So t equals minus 5 or 4. Let's move on. Oh, slightly trickier one, this one. So as you can notice, it doesn't look like the other questions. Usually we've got equal sign here, and we usually have 3 terms. So let's rearrange this so we get 3 terms on the left hand side, and I need a 0 on the right hand side. So the only way to do that is by getting rid of the minus 4 or pinging it to the other side. Some people think of it that way. So I'll need a plus 4 here, plus 4 on that side. I'll get y squared minus 5y plus 4 now on that side equal to 0. And now we can do the same again, just factorize that. I'm going to need positive 4, and it's going to make a minus 5 here. It's definitely 4 and a 1. It's the only thing it could work with, minus 5. And I'm going to need both of these to be negative for it to work. So it's y minus 4, y minus 1 equal to 0. Either this is equal to 0, or that's equal to 0. Y is going to be positive 4 or positive 1. I just skipped the step where I show what I'm doing to both sides, but hopefully you saw that. Hopefully you figured out how to do these now. Yep, there's my 2 answers. Let's move on. Again, I'm going to have to rearrange this. I'll need all my 3 terms on one side. So I'll get x squared minus 10x plus 16 equal to 0. I need a positive 16, and I'm going to need a minus 10 here. What's going to work? 8 and 2, definitely. And they're both going to have to be negative. So I'll get that. I get that. X equals 8, x equals 2. Yeah, there's my two answers. Done. Let's move on to the next section. So, solving problems using factorisation. Let's have a look at this example. So the length of a rectangle is 4 centimeters more than its width. Area of the rectangle is 45 centimeters squared. Find the width of the rectangle. And they've drawn what they're talking about. So there's your width, and there's your length. Yeah, so they said that the length is 4 centimeters more than the width, so it's x plus 4, obviously. This is a very simplified example that I'm showing you guys. This is probably foundation level, just to show you how you can use solving by factorizing to solve these kind of problems. Yeah, even though it doesn't say in the question use factorization or anything like that. It doesn't even mention algebra. The only thing it does mention in terms of algebra is the x, obviously. That should tell you, that should be a massive clue to tell you that you obviously have to use algebra for this. So it's talking about area, and you should know, hopefully you should know, the area of a rectangle. How do you work out area of any rectangle? Area is 1 length multiplied by 1 width. Okay, so it's one of these multiplied by one of these. So let's write that down. So it's x multiplied by the other length. Okay, and we're told that the area is 45, so let's put 45 on that side. Okay, so we've got a bit of an equation going on here. So let's expand this. Let's get rid of these brackets. So x times x is x squared. X times 4 is plus 4x. Ooh, now hopefully you can see where this is going. You've got 3 different terms. Let's rearrange this so that let's get all the terms on one side. So I'm going to have to minus 45 to both sides. I'm going to rewrite it as well with x squared on this side. Still got that. And on the same side, I'm going to have minus 45 equal to 0, because this is gone now. Yeah, 45 on that side is gone. Now we can factorize this. Let's think of 2 numbers that make minus 45, and at the same time add to give us positive 4. Could only be 9 and 5. And one of these has to be negative for this to work. So that has to be positive. That has to be negative. So it's going to be x plus 9, x minus 5 equal to 0. So either this equals 0 or this is equal to 0. Again, you're going to get 2 answers. X is equal to minus 9 or x is equal to 5. But in this case, in this example, they're talking about lengths and widths and areas and things like that, and measurements. So you can't have a negative length. It doesn't make sense. So you ignore that one and you just use the positive value. So in this case, x has to be 5. It can't be minus 9. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. If that was minus 9, you can't measure a length and get minus 9 centimeters. It doesn't make sense. So it has to be positive 5 for the width there. What was the question asking for? Find the width. Yeah, we found it. It's 5 centimeters. And again, you could probably figure out what the answer is. You know, I mean, like I said, it was a very simplified example, but you know, they don't want you guessing in the exam. Obviously, you do have to show working out. This is worth 3 marks. So to get you 3 marks, you have to show step by step how you get your answer, and that's the only way to do it, I'm afraid. You know, you're gonna have to do it this way. So if you can pause the video, have a go of these practice question 3A onwards, and have a go of them. When you're ready, unpause the video and I'll go through the answers. Okay, let's go through these answers. So, practice question 3A, the area of a square ABCD is 10 centimeters squared. Show that x squared plus 6x equals 1. 3 marks for this one. So, whenever you get a question like this, just be careful. When it says show that all of this, you just have to show all of that. You're not trying to solve what x is. As long as you can show this in your working out, that's good enough. That's what you're trying to do. So obviously we have to start off with the square, and it's talking about area. So I would start off by saying area is length times width. So what is the length? Well, one length is all of that, which is x plus 3. Let's put it in brackets. Multiplied by x plus 3. Yep, that's the length, that's the width. And the same that the area is 10, so that goes on that side. Let's expand this, and we eventually should end up with something like this. Let's just see. So x with x is x squared, and that x with that 3 is plus 3x. This 3 with this x is another 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. Still got that. Let's simplify this. So these 3 x's go together. Let me just rewrite it on this side. So 3x plus 3x is 6x. Still got that, equal to 10. And yeah, we're almost there. In fact, there's only one more step. We've got the x squared, we've got the plus 6x. To get a 1 on this side, you'll have to minus 9 here and here. So you'll get equal to 1. Yeah, and you're done. There you go. Show that and you've shown it. 3 marks for that. Next one, if the area of a triangle is 16 meters squared, find the height. Okay, so again, let me just check. 4 marks for this. Let's write it down here. So area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Hopefully you guys know that. For a triangle, what's the base? X plus 4 is the base, and height is going to be just 1x. So it's both of them multiplying each other. Let's write it like this for now. Over 2, and they said the area is 16, so that goes there. We're going to have to solve this. We're going to have to work out what x is. So let's get rid of the fraction. I don't like the fraction being there, so I'll have to multiply by 2 here, and I'll have to multiply by 2 here as well. So I'll get 32 equals all of that. Let's get rid of the brackets. So I'll get x squared plus 4x equals 32. And now, yeah, let's take away 32 to both sides. So I'll get, let's bring it up here. So I'll get x squared plus 4x minus 32 equal to 0. It's definitely going to be double brackets equal to 0. You're going to get two answers, well technically one answer because it's to do with measurements. Let's just try and solve this though. So I've got minus 32 and I need a positive 4. So two numbers, 8 and 4, definitely 8 and 4, and one has to be negative, which is the 4. So I'll get x plus 8, x minus 4. So either this equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. So x is going to be minus 8 or x is going to be positive 4. So you ignore the negative one and it's definitely going to be the positive one. What was it asking for? Find the height. Well, the height was x, so x is going to be 4, and that's going to be in meters because they're using meters squared. So the height is going to be 4 meters. Yep, 4 marks for that. That's a good one. Let's move on to the next one. Height of a photo is 7 centimeters more than the width. If the area is 60 centimeters squared, find the height of the photo. So we don't have a diagram for this. They've just described what they're talking about. So me personally, I would draw. Let's draw what they're talking about. Let's just draw a rectangle to represent the photo. So the height is 7 centimeters more than the width. I tell you what, let me just redraw that because the height is bigger. It's going to look something like that, isn't it? Yeah. So the height is more than the width. That's what they're saying. So the height is 7 centimeters more than the width. So let's call the width x. The height is going to be 7 centimeters more. That's going to be x plus 7. And now, same as before. And they're saying the area is 60. Let's expand this. Oops. And now let's rearrange. Should get that eventually. Double brackets equal to 0. So you need two numbers that multiply to give you minus 60 and at the same time give you positive 7. What's it going to be? 12 and a 5, isn't it? 12 and 5, definitely. Yeah. And one of them has to be negative, so it's going to be that. And so this is going to be equal to 0, or this is going to be equal to 0. So you have two answers, minus 12, positive 5. Again, it's talking about a measurement, so you can ignore the negative one. What was it asking for? Well, find the height of the, oh, right, so the height is this one right here, not just x on its own, but it's x plus 7, so height is x plus 7, which is 12. What was units they're using? Centimeters. That's your answer. 4 marks for that. That was a good one. Next one. It says the area of a rectangle A is twice the area of square B. Rectangle A, yeah. Square B doesn't look like a square, but let's just go with it. So obviously, find x, right. if it's talking about area, we're going to need the length and the width for both of them. So I've got the width for A, haven't got the length for that. That's missing, so definitely need that length right there. What's that going to be? Well, if it's 12 all the way across, don't need x, so it's 12 minus x. Can't simplify that anymore, unfortunately. So that is going to be the same at the top here, which is what we need for A, definitely. So let's write this down. Area of rectangle A, so area A is equal to twice the area of B. Twice area B, let's write it like this. So area A is 4 times 12 minus x, and we've got twice the area of B, so B is just x times x. Yep, so B is a square, isn't it? So x times x is just x squared. Let's put it like that. Let's expand this. So I'll get that, and I get that. Let's rearrange it. That's going to give me a positive 4x and minus 48. So if I bring everything to one side, gives me that. And now we're going to have to, oh, I tell you what, I can take out a factor of 2 of everything. So let's halve everything. So now let's just divide everything by 2, because it'll make our life a lot easier. Yep, you can do that, that's absolutely fine. And now you can factorize that. Equal to 0. X here and x here. You didn't have to divide it by 2, but I just thought, you know, because you've got a factor of 2, you can take that out and halve everything, including the 0. Well, half of 0 is just 0, isn't it? So that doesn't get affected. Think of it this way: if you had this originally, if you double everything, you get the one on the line on the top. So they both mean the same thing, and we need minus 24, and that's going to make positive 2. So two numbers that make minus 24. 6 and 4, definitely, isn't it? 6 and 4. One of them has to be negative, which is that one. So that will be that. Let's carry on over here. So either that equals 0 or that equals 0. X could be minus 6 or positive 4. What was it asking for? Find x. You're going to have to ignore the negative one, so x is going to be 4. Definitely. There's no units for this, I can't see any units, so you just put 4 as your answer. That's good enough. Yeah, so just be careful with this one, and that was quite good. You know, if you can recognize you've got a factor of 2 in all of them, you can just halve everything. Just make your life a lot easier, you know, when you factorize it, and go from there. Let's move on to the next section. This is the last section for the video, and this is when you've got, in fact, very similar to what we had here, you know, where you've got a number in front of the x squared. You can actually factorize that if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. And similar to this sort of question as well, where you've got in this case you've got an 8 in front of it. These are worth quite a lot of marks in the exam, at least 3 marks. Sometimes I've seen them 4 marks. There you go. That's if you're solving them as well. So 3-4 marks, I think it's worth it, you know, especially if you know how to do these with the method I'm about to show you. In fact, I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing this. Ideally, you should go straight into the double brackets. I know it's a bit weird, and you're trying to figure out what those numbers are. Because if I show you, technically, you should be able to go into double brackets. Obviously, now you've got not just 1x, but you've got 8x squared. So you're going to have to think of 2 numbers that go at the start of each brackets. And in this case, the only 2 possibilities it could be is 8 and 1 or 4 and 2. So it could be this, or it could be this. Yeah, can't be anything else. There's nothing else that gives you 8x squared. Yep, for the start of these brackets. And then 2 numbers that multiply -3, well, there's only 3 and 1, or it could be the other way around, possibly. And similarly here as well, we don't know which order. But if you were to expand this, so me personally, I can very quickly just expand these and I'll know what I'll get. So that 8 goes with that 1 to give you 8x squared, and these 2 together go together, 3x. That gives you 3x there, and you'll have 8x here. So in fact, you know what, I think I've got my answer already, because I need 8x take away 3x. No, sorry, I'm going to need -5x. So I'm going to need a minus here, which will give me -8x, and a +3x. That's going to give me the -5x. So in fact, you can rule this one out, and this is going to be your answer. Yeah, so I got a bit lucky there. So I did actually figure out, I mean, there's not going to be that many combinations, to be honest. You know, I put the numbers in first and then see if it works, and I can see in my head that it will work, because I'll get 8x and a 3x, which is going to give me the -5 eventually. You just have to figure out what the signs are going to be here and here, and it does work. So obviously, if it doesn't work, try a different combination. And there's not going to be that many. There's not going to be that many different combinations, to be honest. So ideally, you can go straight into the double brackets and try and figure it out. If you can't do that, then I'm going to show you a way which is a bit long, but it guarantees that you get the answer. So I'm going to split the page, and I'm going to put down here, I'm going to do the AC method. Not sure if you've heard of this before, but let me just rewrite the quadratic expression, sorry, not equation, there's no equal sign. So that's my quadratic expression. So this is your A, the first number, that is your C, the last number. So now what you do is you just multiply them 2 together. So 8 times -3 gives us -24. Okay, and now you think of 2 numbers that multiply to give you -24, and at the same time give us the -5, which is what we want for your x. So that's going to be, what's that going to be? 8 and 3. 8 and 3 definitely multiply to give you 24, and eventually I'm going to get minus 5. So if it's minus 24, one of these has to be negative, and in this case it's going to be the 8 definitely. Yeah, that's going to give me minus 5. So what you do is, once you've got this, you then split the minus 5 into minus 8, which is what we got here, but you have to put an x with it as well. And the other number which we got, which was positive 3, and you have to put an x with that as well. Okay, you could do them the other way around as well, but you don't have to. In fact, I'll show you both ways. Yeah, so let's just go with this way. Let's just put minus 8x here, positive 3x here as well. Okay, and let's bring the 8x, still got the 8x squared, let's bring that down, and let's bring the minus 3 down as well. Okay, so now we've got this. Then what you do is you factorize from here to here, and here to here separately. Okay, so factorize this, you can get single brackets. What's the biggest factor we can take out? Well, 8 is the biggest number I can take out, definitely. I can take out 1x as well. That leaves me with 1x from this term minus 1. Yep, that's that bracket's done. Okay, so if you expand this, you should get the original. We've done it right. Let's factorize this second square brackets. So again, the only thing I can take out is a positive 3, open brackets. That leaves me with x minus 1. Yeah, and you'll notice that these two brackets are the same, and if they are, you've done it right, because that's going to be one of your brackets in your answer. Can you see it's over here? So that's one of your brackets done, and your other brackets, if you notice, is these two numbers together, so these two variables, sorry. So you've got 8x here, positive 8x, and a positive 3 here as well. So in fact, now you can go straight into your double brackets. Let's put the 8x plus 3 in one brackets, and you just pick one of these, and that's your answer. So it's a bit of a long-winded way of doing it, but it does guarantee you get your answer. So if you can't put them straight into double brackets, you know, straight away, if you're unable to do that, you're gonna have to do the AC method. It's gonna take a bit of time, so you'll have to weigh up all those options. You know, totally depends. If you're really good at seeing where numbers should go, then maybe use the double brackets, just go straight into double brackets, get your answer. If you're not so good at that, then maybe try the AC method. And for this, you'll have to be good at factorising, I'm afraid, you know, because you have to factorise two separate parts to this this question, and it's the only way that you will get your answer. So you'll have to weigh up all those pros and cons yourself. Both ways are going to give you your answer, obviously. If it's 3 marks, you know, in the exam, maximum you should spend is 3 minutes, no more than that. So you guys decide which one you prefer. Just out of interest, if you were to switch these around, let's see what happens. Let me do it over here. Yep, let me just make some space here. So I'll just rewrite it as, let me just rewrite the question. Okay, and we had minus 8 and positive 3. So split this. Let's put the positive 3 on this side and the minus 8x on this side. Yeah, let's bring this down. Let's bring that down. See if we get the same answer. I think the working out is going to be slightly different. So can you notice I've just switched these around. So I'm going to have to factorize these two together and these two together. So what's the biggest factor I can take out? Can't take any numbers out, but I can take an x out of that. That leaves me with 8x plus 3. Factorize this. Ideally you want the same, in fact you do want the same. So the only way to get 8x plus 3 is if I take out a minus 1. You're going to get 8x plus 3. In fact, minus 1 is the only thing you can take out of that. You can't take anything else out. Notice that you get the same brackets here and here. Let's write that down first, in fact. And then your second brackets is these two together, so it's x minus 1. We get the same answer. Yeah, so doesn't make a difference which way you split the minus 5x. You can switch these around. Factorize it, you'll get the same answer. So let's move on to another tricky one. I'm going to do it both ways. So let's go straight into the brackets. Equal to 0. I've got 21 here. So the only two combinations for 21 are obviously 21 times 1 or 3 times 7. There's nothing else. I reckon, let me just try 7 times, I don't think it's going to be the 21 times 1, because it's not going to give me these numbers here, I don't think. So I'm going on a hunch and put a 7x here and a 3x here. Okay, and again, the only two numbers that multiply to give you minus 2 are 2 and a 1. So it could be 2 and a 1 like that, or could be a 1 and a 2 like that. So if we leave it like this, let's just say we leave it like this. The 7x multiplies the 2 to give me 14x. And these two together give me 3x. 14 and a 3 is not going to give me 1x, is it? Let me just switch it back. So I reckon it's going to be a 2 here and a 1 here. So obviously 7x and 7x times by 1 gives me 7x. 2 times 3x gives me 6x. Yeah, 7x take away 6x is going to give me that 1x. So now, which one's plus, which one's minus? So I'm going to need a positive 7x. That's going to give me positive 7x when you multiply these two together. And minus 6x. That's going to give me the positive 1x right there. So yeah, you can go straight into double brackets if you know what you're doing. And again, you know, there's only going to be a few combinations, so that could potentially save you a lot of time. And now you can go to the next step, and let's add 2 to both sides here, and let's divide by 7. So your first answer is 2 over 7. Let's leave it like that. Let's minus 1 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. So x equals minus a third. There's your two answers. Yep, 4 marks for doing that. Yeah, so that's if you want to go straight into double brackets. If you want to do the AC method, I'm going to do that here. So let's do the AC method. So let me just rewrite it. And now if I multiply 2 times 21, well, it's minus 2 times 21, isn't it? So it's minus 42, and I need positive 1. It's going to be 6 and 7 definitely, isn't it? 6 and 7. Yeah, that's got to be positive, that's got to be negative. So let's split this. Do you know what? I'm going to put the 7 next to the 21 because I know I can factorize that easily, more easier. So I'll put plus 7x here and minus 6x here. Let's bring the 21x squared down. Let's bring the minus 2 down. Factorize this and factorize this separately. So like I said, I can take a 7 out of both of these. Definitely take an x out as well. That leaves me with 3x plus 1. Let's factorize the second square brackets. The only thing I can take out is a minus 2. That leaves me with 3x plus 1. Yeah, you get the same in both brackets. So your two brackets are 7x minus 2 and 3x plus 1. Same again, you just do this bit here and you should get the same answer here and here. Yep, so whether you do the AC method or go straight into double brackets, you know, your choice, but obviously I think, me personally, I think going straight into double brackets is a lot quicker. That's going to save you a lot of time in the exam. So ideally I'd prefer if you can do it this way. If not, then you've got AC method as a backup, you know, which is a little bit longer. Have a go over the next ones yourself then. Maybe try putting them in double brackets yourself. Just go straight into the double brackets, you know, give it a go. See if you can figure it out. Because with a bit of practice, you know, I know it's a bit weird at first, but then, you know, with a bit of practice, you can get the hang of it. And you'll realise where these numbers are supposed to go and in what order, and then figure out what the signs are supposed to be. So pause the video and unpause it when you're ready. Okay, so let's go through these. I'm going to go straight into double brackets. You could have used the AC method as well, but I'm going to go straight into the double brackets because it's a lot quicker. So 5x squared, well, the only two numbers going to make that is a 5x and an x, can't be anything else. Minus 2, it's just going to be a 2 and a 1, so straight away I can see I'm going to have to put 2 here and a 1 here because that's going to get me the 9, isn't it? Because 5 times 2 is 10, and these two together give me the 1x. So let's just figure out what signs I need. Definitely positive here because that's going to give me positive 10x, and I need to minus 1x. Yep. And now it's just a matter of getting our two answers. Let's plus 1 to both sides here. Divide both sides by 5. There's your first answer. And for this, there's your second answer. Yep. And let's write them down here. So you've got our fifth, 4 minus 2. 4 marks for that. So yeah, hopefully you did it as fast as me. If not, then, you know, hopefully you'll get used to it. If you use the AC method, absolutely fine. You know, as long as you got the same answers. Hopefully you did get the same answers. Obviously you would have got full marks for that. Let's move on. Next one, practice question 4b. Right, so do you know what? This looks a bit tricky, so I'm going to use the AC method for this one. So let's use that here. So let's multiply 6 with a minus 6. And now I need a positive 5. So two numbers that give me minus 36. At the same time give me 5. What's that going to be? Definitely 9 and a 4, isn't it? Yeah. And that's got to be positive, that's got to be negative. So let's split this. I'm going to put positive 9x here, minus 4x here. Let's bring that down. Let's bring that other one down. Factorize this. Factorize this. So I can take out 3x that leaves me with 2x plus 3. Factorizing this, that's going to give me, let's take out minus 2, and that's going to leave me with 2x plus 3, same. Yep, so there we go. So my two brackets are 3x minus 2 and 2x plus 3. Yeah, again, you could have probably figured this out by going straight into the double brackets. And you know, even with the AC method, it doesn't really take that long, to be honest. You know, maybe it would have been quicker this way, you know, to figuring out what these numbers are, because you know you had a 6 here and a 6 here, so it could have been a 6 and a 1 or a 2 and a 3, you know, and just trying all those different combinations might have taken you even longer. So either this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0. That's plus 2 here. So my first answer is 2/3. And my second answer is minus 3/2. Let's just write these here and here. And by the way, you don't need to you don't need to change these to decimals or anything like that. Just leave them as fractions. You're not going to get any extra marks if you start changing them to decimals. So that's that done. Let's move on. Again, I'm going to do, oh, you know what, because I've got 5 here, let's get rid of that first. So, because I need everything on one side. Minus 30 minus 5, that's going to give me minus 35. Yeah, just be careful. It's getting colder, isn't it? So you're on minus 30 on the number line. Think of it as that, and you're going to minus 5. It's getting colder. You'll have minus 35. I'm going to do the AC method again. Let's see how fast I can do it. Oh, this is going to be, I'm going to get a big number for this one, and I need that as well. Wow. So it can't be 35 and 10. That's not going to give me 43. What about 50 and 7, isn't it? 50 and 7, yeah, definitely. 50 and a 7. And that's going to give me the 43 as well. So one of these has to be negative, which is the 50. That's got to be positive. So let's split this. Let's put, oh, I'll tell you what, let's put the minus 50 on this side, because that's going to go nicely with the 10x squared. And let's put positive 7x on this side. Let's bring that down. Let's bring that down. And now, factorize this, factorize this. So I can take out 10x. That leaves me with x minus 5, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. And then, oh, why have I done that? And then let's factorize this. So I can only take out positive 7 x minus 5. Yeah, I get the same here and here. So my two brackets are 10x plus 7. And the other one is x minus 5. So either this equals 0 or this equals 0. So my first answer is minus 7 over 10. And my second answer is positive 5. There's my two answers. You don't have to simplify it if you don't want to. I'll just leave it like that. Yep, there's my two answers. Me personally, I would have used AC method for this. I've got weird numbers in here, especially the 43. I'd probably be forever trying to figure out. Maybe not, I don't know. You know, it's one of them really. You just have to mull it over. And would I have got that? If I went straight into double brackets, would I have got that? We'll never know now, will we? So yeah, it's totally down to you, to be honest. I mean, if you like the AC method, if you're used to it, stick to it if it works. Let's try the next one. Again, I'm going to have to minus 7 here and here. Positive 2 minus 7, that's going to give me minus 5. Okay. Let's go straight into double brackets for this one. So, and just see if I can see a pattern with the numbers. Let me try this. 5 and a 1. Well, it's definitely going to be 5 and a 1. Let me put that in first, in fact. 5 and a 1. And 4 and a 1. If I put 4 here, that's going to give me 20. No, it's not going to be that, is it? So maybe, is it going to be 2 and a 2? 2x, yeah. Definitely. 2x here. 2x here, because that's going to give me 10, that's going to give me 2, that's going to give me the minus 8. Yes, definitely. Which one's which? Yeah, so I'm going to need minus here and a plus here. Yeah, that's going to give me minus 10x plus 2x. Yep, there we go. That's going to be equal to 0, or that's going to be equal to 0. Plus 5 to both sides here. So my first answer is going to be 5 over 2, or 2.5. I'd leave it as 5 over 2, to be honest. And for this one, it's minus a half. Yep, just leave them as fractions. Absolutely fine. 4 marks for that. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. And if you want to try the extension questions, it's just a mixture of, oh, look at that one. Interesting. It's a mixture of algebra questions, obviously, solving equations, factorising, and so on. So if you want to try that yourself, give that a go. and I will go for the answers in part 2. Yep, sorry about my squeaky mouse, you can hear it in the background. And as always, if you like these videos, don't forget to press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And if you're part of my class, hopefully I'm going to check who's subscribed and who hasn't subscribed. Hopefully everyone has subscribed in my class. And yeah, I shall see you in the next one.